Let's start with some background. I must admit, this happened about 13 years ago, but to this day, I still remember this day. When I was probably no more than 7 years old, I had one of the worst experiences ever on a public bus. It wasn't anything traumatic, but I never got on a bus again until I reached middle school. And believe me, my mom tried to get me on the bus, but I would cry and absolutely refuse to get on any sort of bus. My mom finally gave up, and for the next 4 years of my life, my mom and I walked everywhere. And now, the story begins. So, in kindergarten, I made a very dear friend. My mom also became very good friends with my friend's mother. However, my friend moved to a different city when we were entering 2nd grade. Being such good friends, my mom had no problem taking the 3 buses that we needed to take to visit my friend. It was a good 3 to 4 hour bus ride. We had done this numerous times before, and then one day, something happened. Being so long ago, my memory isn't so great, but I do remember the general gist of what happened, details added for your enjoyment. Sitting peacefully, minding my own business, with my mother by my side, everything is going just fine, we're about to reach our destination, probably no more than an hour away. When all of a sudden, a man gets on the bus. He has wild hair and it resembles Sideshow's bob hair very much, i.e. it's messy, dirty, and all over the place. The man also has a very rugged appearance, looks homeless and a bit crazy. As soon as he gets on the bus, he starts shouting that he has a bomb under his jacket, and that he's going to blow up the bus, unless we give him money. He paces back and forth, screaming at the top of his lungs. I remember the bus driver arguing with him. I guess the bus driver knew the guy was freaking nuts, and called him on his bluff. As you can imagine, me, being 7, was totally terrified, and cried my little heart out. I held my mom as strong as my little arms could. My mom held me deep against her stomach doing her best to comfort me, but nothing at that moment, except probably Spider-Man could stop me from crying. Eventually, the lunatic leaves. I don't remember much of what happened afterwards, except that my mom took me off the bus, and tried to comfort me. After this day, I never saw my friend for a really long time. I was only able to see him when my dad wasn't working, which didn't happen much. I would say, after this day, I probably only saw him like once every year for his birthday. Until eventually, we stopped seeing each other altogether. At the age of 7, having some dude get on a bus and say that he's going to blow it up, is awfully scary. I've had near-fatal experiences, thank God, nothing ever happened, but this is probably the oldest event that I could recall. And still, one of the scariest of my entire life. Slicked my hair back to go pick up beer at my neighborhood chain grocery store around midnight and was startled by a group of thuggish Mexican dudes hanging out right next to my car parked in the alley. Decided not to park in the same spot when I returned. In the checkout line behind me a fracas developed after a stoic white man dressed all in black and wearing dark shades, indoors, after midnight, apparently insulted the 2 lively black women for buying beer. They were going to town on him, defending their ways and saying they could smell alcohol on his breath and that he was a crazy hypocrite. I merely glanced over a few times and noticed that he was inexplicably staring at me with an unwavering stone-cold killer expression. After paying, I hurried outside and told the parking lot security guard to look out for this creep. As I started up my car I saw the black-clothed man get in his, a white Toyota. I turned right out of the lot and saw him do the same about a block and a half behind. Turned right again and he did the same, a block and a half behind. Made a left turn. He remained, a block and a half behind. I drove past my apartment and slowly came to a full stop at a stop sign some ways down the street. I idled and checked my rear view mirror. There he was, waiting at the intersection a few blocks behind me. I pulled a fast U-turn, gunned it and raced toward him, with no plan to speak of. Immediately he made a quick right and disappeared down a side street. Not sure if he was gone for good, I parked in the same spot as before and approached the group of thugs, who were still hanging out. I began to explain the situation and that I worried that I was being followed, and the oldest and by far hardest looking member of the group stared at me without cracking a smile and said, "Do you want us to shoot him?" No elbows, no winks, no laughs. Just fire in his eyes.